Hi everybody, this is Anne. I love hand building mugs, but my pet peeve with them is that because we start with a flat slab that's rounded into a mug form, there's a greater chance that the rim will warp as the clay tries to flatten back out in the high fire. In this video, I'll show you how you can combat those pesky warped rims just by changing the angle of the form. For this project, I designed template pieces for you and will provide them in a link in the description section under the video. I'll also be using a 12-inch styrofoam cone as my mold. As the bottom is wider than I like, I cut the bottom 4 inches from the cone so it looks like this. As my design decoration requires removing a thin layer of clay, I started out with a little more than a 1/4 inch slab of clay and ribbed it smooth on both sides with a rubber rib. On a smooth tabletop, I wet the surface a little and rolled clay over the moist area to stick it tight. Now I'm going to use a wiggle wire, which you can find in any pottery supply. The crimps on the wire make really cool patterns, as you'll see. Holding the ends of the wire really taut and flat to the table, I worked the wire under the slab, pulling it one hand at a time down and around, keeping it flat to the table until I got to the other end of the slab. And when I turn it over, you can see a very unique pattern that's been created in the clay. Hey guys, we're pushing for 100,000 subscribers, so please take a moment to hit that subscribe button. Jim and I would really appreciate it. This thin layer of leftover clay is why I started with the slab that was a bit thicker than I normally start with. I took the biggest of the template pieces and laid it over my favorite part of the patterned slab. I cut out the template using an X-Acto knife. Next, I got out my handy beveling tool and will be using the 45-degree angled side. I set the tool flat to the table and beveled the angled, shorter side of the clay. I scored that beveled edge. I gently turned over the slab and beveled the other, shorter angled slab side. To keep the clay from sticking to my form, I'm placing a stretchy stocking over the styrofoam. It'll conform to the shape. One tip to combat a warped rim is to curl the slab from both sides to try to give the clay the memory of being rounded, to stretch it out and keep it from wanting to flatten back out. I scored the other beveled edge and then slipped that one. I gently formed the slab around the cone and attached the beveled edge lightly together, trying not to destroy the pattern of the seam. I actually like the seam and want to keep that in my design. My clay is soft, so I can't put much pressure right up against the seam yet, just enough so that it sticks together. My most vulnerable area for the mug to come apart right now is the rim, so I want to work that joint at the rim together flat, reinforcing it first to make sure it doesn't come apart, and then compressing the rest of the rim as well. Now I need to add a bottom. On a banding wheel, I centered a 1/4 inch slab of clay. To find the center where I'll set the body of the mug, I spun the wheel fast and using my fingernail, I indented a circle into it. Now I can more easily place the mug body down to the clay in the center. I lightly traced around the clay, then lifted it back up and scored the slab and the bottom of the mug where it will attach. Now I can remove the form from the mug body, trying not to distort the shape. I used a paintbrush to slip the clay on the slab. I replaced the body of the mug down over the exact mark that I traced so it was round. Using my fingernail, I sealed the body with the slab bottom. I used slip on a paintbrush to start the sealing on the inside of the mug seam. I could also more securely seal that side body seam using the paintbrush. I can exert more pressure along the smooth clay on the inside and get a good seal that way. I rolled out a long, small coil and worked it into the seam, again using a paintbrush to work it into place. I used a bamboo stick to slowly begin cutting away the excess clay from around the outside of the body. When I got to the bottom, I removed the excess clay. I wet my fingers and turned the wheel around while making sure that the rim was straight and round, working the rim so it's round and soft. I used my sharp wooden tool, which I'm told is called a wooden knife thanks to you guys, to undercut the bottom edge. Even after all the reinforcing from the inside, I was successful at keeping the seam untouched. Wait until the clay is stiffened up, and then you can make sure the outside of the seam is tight together. Just don't forget. Even though you can see the seam on the outside, the inside seam is well sealed. An idea for the bottom of the mug is to wire it from the banding wheel using your wiggle wire. Now your pattern is consistent even on the bottom. When it is stiffened up, you can attach a handle. And here's one that I made earlier where I used Opulence Sea Spray glaze over it. It breaks blue-green over the texture. The rim stayed nice and round as the pyramidal shape provides a sturdy base so the clay won't wobble and warp in the high fire. Here's another texture I made using a church key dragon's tooth pattern, framing painted leaves. Again, my rim stayed nice and round. Now let's make an alternative to that cone-shaped mug, but with a wider rim. I started with a little less than a 1/4 inch slab and ribbed it smooth on both sides. I followed the same steps as the first design and curling the slab to give it a round memory. I beveled the first side edge like the first project, then flipped the slab and beveled the other edge. This time, I also beveled the top edge of the slab all the way across. After scoring and slipping, I formed the clay around the cone mold and attached the seam, making sure that the beveled side of the rim is facing outward. My clay will probably be a little loose around the form as it stretched out a bit when I curled it, but the form will still provide stability. As there is no pattern on the clay, I can use my red rib to be a little more aggressive about sealing the edges and actually hide the seam on this mug. I placed the long skinny template over the slab and cut it out. I remembered to curl the template, then I beveled the first short edge like the other template piece. I turned the slab over and beveled the opposite short edge. I want to attach this new slab to the beveled edge at the rim, so I held it up to the rim with how it will curl around the body, so I can figure which side of the slab to bevel. Now I'll bevel the edge that mirrored the beveled edge on the body. I scored both and slipped one of the beveled edges. I curled the slab around the mold, lining up the seams, and attached it firmly in place. I then began working the beveled edges together using both my red rib and wet fingers. I then added a bottom slab to the mug, just like I did in the first project. Now I can get my red rib inside to seal the inner seam joint. I can also go back over the outside and make sure the mug is straight and the rim is round. I still need to seal the inside body joints well, and I wanted to show you another of my favorite tools to do this, a rubber spatula. It has a long handle and wide surface to get into areas my hands and even a rigid paintbrush can't reach. I softened the rim of the mug using my fingers, and when it was leather hard, I attached a handle. The upside-down cone shape will help keep the rim stretched out and stable against warping. Give it a try. Thanks to the newest members of our Little Street Pottery Research Facility team. If you'd like to join the team and earn a title, click on the Super Thanks button or the link to buy me a coffee. In any case, we invite you to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time in the studio.